Hey guys, and welcome to 2014. So I wanted to just do a video reflecting back on my growth and progress in crochet in the past year. So I wanted to just begin with my Afghan. This was the granny tile Afghan that I had started several months back and I took a break from, and I needed to work on my patience and my growth with doing such a large project. I usually like to do hats because they're fast and they work up really fast, and it's just like, ta-da, here's a project. Well, when you do an Afghan, it's like, okay, one step done, go to the next one, and then you slowly have to get through there. So that was not my bag originally. So this is the finished project. It took me several months to finish it because of essentially patience on my part, but I like it. It's not fully, it doesn't have all the refinement it should have, but as considering it was my first Afghan attempt, I'm quite pleased with it. And it's just, you know, comfort. So I'm pleased with that one. Yay! And also, as I showed you in my video a while back, how I had gone to get a resource book to learn more about crochet stitches and different projects that I could do. One hat I have not shown you that I've done this year was this hat. It's a granny inspired, I guess, zigzag pattern hat that I used in my teal, in the super soft teal, black, and super soft off-white from Red Heart. I used basically that pattern stitch I found from that book. I calculated how many chains I'd need to fit around my head, and then I basically turned it into a hat. And I did this basically from the bottom up. So I'd started the first round and then finished it, and then when I got to the top I stitched it together, and I like it because it comes up with this kind of nice little snowflake effect. So that was an unexpected finish, and I really liked this idea of the hat, and it was somehow working on something that was relatively fast, still in that granny style that I was getting into from the Afghan, as well as working with a new skill and coming up with a hat from basically a pattern stitch, and make it all the way from, make a complete hat from a pattern stitch. So I was quite impressed with that as an accomplishment. I was really pleased. And reflecting back to my video I did in the fall discussing what progress I wanted to do and upgrading my skills, as well as what I was getting fixated on at that point, which happens to me every fall, is ponchos. I wanted to make ponchos, and I made ponchos. I made 3. The first one was I showed you in that video where it was I should have it here. The first one I showed you was the one I had completed first, which was this one. Which is in the Lion brand yarn. And I like this one. It's a nice, cozy, a bit more fashionable one, you could say. But another one I really liked was the Lion brand pattern. This one was more designed, I guess, for a man's pattern. And I used the super thick yarn, or super bulky yarn, I guess I should say. But my dilemma I had with this one is it is quite oversized. I think it was intended to be an oversized crochet item, but I think it was because of the size of my crochet hook. It came out a little bit bigger and a little bit wider than anticipated, but I liked the two-tone nature of the color I came up with the darker blue and then with the lighter blue at the top, so I think it's a bit more unique. I'll actually show you the 2 crochet hooks. So with this pattern I had, it actually requested, I think it was a 10.0 millimeter crochet hook. But then I had this one, which is an 11.5 millimeter crochet hook, or I had my 8 millimeter crochet hook. So they were both kind of right in the middle, right? This is 2 millimeters too small, and this is 1.5 millimeters too big. So I went on the side of bigger just because I was worried that if I use this one it'd come out too small, which I probably shouldn't have worried about, because I tend to crochet a bit looser, so I could have used this one with the thicker yarn and it may not have been too bad. I still like this pattern, but it's quite a bit bigger and oversized. But that's a lesson learned. It's just so funny. It's like the basic lesson in crochet is always make sure you have the right crochet hooks for the right yarn and the right pattern, which is so basic, but sometimes you want to work with what you got. And I did, and actually I like the result, so I can't really complain too much about that. Just throw that on the side. And here is my, I guess, the poncho I created that was very ambitious. I saw a photo of a poncho that was basically a big rectangle shape. It just had essentially just a horizontal opening for the neck, and the rest of it was just a broad pattern. So I'm like, okay, I'll calculate the length I want for each side, calculate where the opening will be. I basically color blocked where each of the colors should be for it, and this is the result. Now let me just get it straight up here for you. And here it is. So as you can see, this is the neck opening. This will be the center panel. This will be the center panel in blue. Then it goes out to the shoulders with the lighter mint color. It goes to the turquoise, and then it goes to, what was this? I can't remember what the name of this color was. And then it goes back to the peacock color, and that's how it goes there. By this side, I actually was running out of some of my colors, so I just improv'd a little bit of a look of it here. I really like the idea of this, and I really like this pattern stitch, which I found from my crochet book, but the issue I have with it is that it is so heavy. It is so heavy. So it's quite long. Let me see if I can see. It's quite a long poncho, and it has a lot of yarn in it, so it is very, very heavy. So my debate, and what I think I will probably do, is stitch the opening together and then make it and use it as a blanket, because it's very, very warm, very, very cozy, but I find it too heavy to wear. But I'm still proud of my ability to look at a pattern as a garment and come up with a way to replicate what I wanted to do with it. So it's still a good win for me. I feel accomplished. I feel it's a good step forward that I've done in crochet this year. So I hope you guys are doing well. This was just a little look back for me as a record, and to share with you how I felt I progressed in this past year, and I just look forward to progressing even more in the new year in the world of crochet. Okay? I hope you guys are doing well, and have a happy 2014. See you guys soon. Bye guys.